We're back for another rundown episode. Joe, every day is a news-filled day every week in this sector. How you doing today?
Bitcoin's above 110. I'm good.
Oh, did we get above 110? I know it was earlier this
Wait,
morning,
hold
so
on.
we're moving. It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're we're above 110. Let me share the screen so we can all kind of celebrate this together a little bit. Always exciting stuff when we're, making all-time highs. But yeah, Bitcoin 110. Man, I've been saying 110, 112. Definitely seems like a big psychological number. So let's see where we close today. But it's moving nice, and there's some bullish news around it. We're going to talk about why Bitcoin's moving. Ethereum's picking up steam. Solana's picking up steam. It's a sea of green as well. It feels like this is becoming an everyday occurrence right now, and we're getting it's probably the biggest piece of news in the tariff world. We saw a peel back late last week because Trump was, butting heads with the EU again with the tariffs. Markets don't like uncertainty. He said that he was going to give 50% tariffs on the EU. Well, he retracted that statement essentially. He said he's going to delay till July 9th. So the bull market will proceed. Some other really big news out there, Joe, kind of broke this morning was Trump Media announced a $2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal. I'd say it's one of the biggest and largest Bitcoin treasury deals of any public company. And I know I kind of saw that announced in live time today, and we shot up from like 107 to 110. That has to be a big catalyst why we're moving and the bull market's back on.
Yeah, I would like to. Well, we're seeing so many companies deploy that strategy, so definitely not surprised with the Bitcoin move up. I was hoping the Trump meme coin will move up on that news, but it's uncorrelated.
Yeah, that's interesting. We talked about that a little bit before the show, and I think a lot of that has to do with Trump just had his crypto dinner this past, what was it, Friday, and the price was going up leading into it. So I'm not surprised to see that as we'll go over some meme coins. So I'm not surprised to see that as one of not the top movers out there. And Ethereum's been catching some steam. We've been talking about it over the past couple of weeks how it's been lagging behind in a lot of these market movers, but Ethereum certainly started to catch some steam. And we have some interesting news here with kind of people are coining this, Joe, as the microstrategy of Ethereum. SharpLink, which is a gaming company, is raised a $425 million to launch an ETH treasury. So we're starting to see some moves. I know Michael Saylor, has done a great job with this with Bitcoin in utilizing company assets and leverage to buy Bitcoin. Now we're starting to see a whole bunch of companies do this. We're starting to see Vivek, I think we talked about last week with Strive. They're trying to buy some Bitcoin from the Mount Gox defunks. We're seeing other companies out here talking about how they're just going to start buying Bitcoin and they're a Bitcoin reserve company. Now we're seeing it with Solana. We're seeing it with Ethereum. Is that the flavor of the town right now? Is these companies just buying crypto and holding it? Is it sustainable?
Definitely not sustainable. It's a train waiting to crash. We just don't know when that's going to happen. But it doesn't hasn't happened with stocks. It's gone up for 120 years, right?
That's a great point, actually. I had some notes down writing about this morning, thinking about same thoughts. This is not sustainable. In a bear market, this could get really bad. And I'm going to kind of put a scenario out there for everyone. These companies, like MicroStrategy is pretty safe. You know how they've handled it. They got in early. They feel pretty safe. But these new up and comers right now, just diving in feet first. It's great right now. It looks great. It looks like a great move, but the minute we possibly, get into a bear market or have some turbulence, which this is crypto, that happens all the time, they could have a massive amount of debt. And the only way they can relieve that debt is to sell their Bitcoin, it's to sell their Ethereum, sell their holdings. So that could cause some sell pressure. So I'm with you. Long story short, it doesn't feel very sustainable, but hey, not complaining about it right now.
Yeah, the party could go on for a while because Circle has, we'll talk about it in a second. Circle has just announced their IPO. Basically, Tether was rumored to pump up the price of Bitcoin for many years now. And, more stablecoin issuers are out here than before. There's probably like 100 of them, right? Stablecoin issuers. They could just kind of issue their own stablecoin to purchase Bitcoin, which will add another feedback loop into Bitcoin. I ain't mad at that. That exactly. We had to keep a close eye on it. But overall, I'd say macro scale. Even if there is a liquidation event for these companies, I just think it's another great time to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, I agree. I actually over this weekend hung out with a buddy of mine who's pretty heavy in the traditional finance world, and he's always kind of bashed Bitcoin indirectly and directly to my face. But this was one time we were together for a couple hours where he was truly asking me like a ton of questions. Not going to name his firm, but they're not allowed to invest in Bitcoin on behalf of their clients yet, but they're really talking that could be in the future. No, he didn't really clarify either way, but insinuated that their firm is aware of the traction that we're all seeing with these ETFs and Bitcoin, and he was more genuinely interested in crypto than I've ever seen him. And this is a guy who's been bashing it since I've been talking about from early on. So that made me feel good inside, have to be honest.
Yeah, that's exciting too. When the normies are coming in, then I wouldn't say we're near the top, but that's great for our bags. So early people who got in.
Yeah, certainly. You want to talk a little bit about this Missouri zero tax? It seems like there's some good news coming out of the state of Missouri, huh?
Potentially Missouri, potentially Florida. They're working on a bill, trying to get it through to have zero tax on Bitcoin and or stocks, which is pretty crazy because a lot of money in stocks. And I hope more states follow because Missouri is great. I've been there one time. Not sure if you've been. Florida is a little bit humid for me. Hopefully, some other states follow suit.
Yeah, this is interesting. On Bitcoin, Ripple, and stocks. I love how they slipped
Yeah,
Ripple in there.
the article made it as an example, so it's not specifically
Oh,
XRP. They're like XRP digital assets like XRP. I don't know why they took the headline. It's probably the AI didn't do it correctly.
yeah, well, it got me as clickbait, not gonna lie. I saw that XRP. I was like, these guys are just
Yep.
absolutely everywhere. So just kind of wrap up some of the macro news. We talked about last week. Big game James win here uh, was longing Bitcoin. Then he closed his long and he started shorting Bitcoin. And it was a holiday weekend. So I couldn't even kind of keep up of what James Wynn was doing out here on the platform Hyperliquid. But a couple things came to note. Hype is hitting all-time highs. A lot of it probably due to the attention that he's giving it. And secondly, it looks like he lost a little bit of money this morning. So I'm not sure where the status sits right now, but he's been flip-flopping back and forth, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think overall he's net positive. So good to keep a close eye on him. But about the hype ecosystem, my DeFi friends are hyping up hype. It's the new thing, maybe because it's hitting all-time highs and you think can actually flip Solana. You brought that up first. You think the goal right for them is to flip Solana, which would be massive.
Yeah, you're talking to kind of a hype maxi here. So I've been in hype for a while now, and we even called it to our private community a while back and kind of gave a walkthrough for everyone how you can work the platform. It's an interesting EVM, that's for sure. I don't think it really is going to flip Solana market cap, but a lot of people are calling hype to go to $100 per token. And in the current tokenomics, if that would happen, that would flip Solana. My bull thesis here is both Solana and Hype move aggressively, and probably Solana keeps that lead on it. But Hype's doing some big things. I still personally look at it as just a perp site, not as much as a chain. And I look at Solana doing a lot more. But we know things can change really fast in the world of crypto. So not bashing it by any means because I'm a holder and a staker of Hype. I just flipping Solana might be difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Solana is pretty strong, but there's a lot of what is it? Excitement and hyper because of the futures trading and perps trading and whatnot. And people from Solana are definitely loving that space right now.
Yep. And let's talk about good old Tom Brady, huh? He's back in it, everyone. Is it, Tom Brady was kind of the face of FTX celebrities for a little while. A lot of celebrities were. But we've heard whenever FTX had its issues that he lost a little bit of coin. Not sure where that stands with paybacks and everything, but it was definitely a black eye for him in crypto. But he's back at it. He might be a DJ just like us. He might love the crypto space and blockchain space and see the value just like us because he's invested in a new crypto AI startup, Cantina Labs, founded by the Circle co-founder and raised $18 million from A16Z, Coinbase Circle, and good old Tom Brady. Any thoughts here on what TB12 is doing in the crypto space?
No, but it's good to see, people coming back, which is great, because that's a good sign for people adopting. And I like to see him leading the charge. We all learn from our mistakes, and many celebrities made a mistake. They didn't know what they're getting into. It was definitely, I would say some is a cash grab. I think Tom understood more than the rest because he launched his autograph. If a lot of people don't know, it's a blockchain-based digital sports collectible platform that I think shut down or sold it, but he definitely knew or got into the space in a different way than other people who just came in for a cash grab. So, not saying that this one isn't, but I think he's doing pretty well. He's got a $250 million contract with Fox, is it? Or excuse me if it's not the right one, but yeah, I like the play. I like people coming back.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just positive news overall, and he's one of us, you know? He had a little bit of a hiccup out there in the crypto world. Something happened, you know? He's one of us. He's earning stripes out there. Now his investment was a little bit larger, but you know, it's all relative at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I like Tom. I get to ride on the Boston or Massachusetts bandwagon now because my wife is from there. So I used to not be a fan of Tom, but now I could be. All right, let's talk about memes a little bit. Memes have been a sea of green. Like everything's popping. People are feeling rich. The money market treasuries, money market funds is up, I think, like $5 trillion. It's like the dry powder just sitting around. Overall, we've seen in the last 30 days at least, I mean, just bam, the meme market's added 30 to 40 billion dollar back to its marketplace and it hasn't given that up. So I love where we're at. We're yet to see the rotation yet from Ethereum, a Solana in a big way. So this move up is just kind of a return to where we've been.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. It's a sea of green here. You know, whenever the market's bullish, memes start to pop off. I'm just kind of looking at the top memes here. Any personal thesis on, you know, how you're approaching it? It looks like things could start to pick up. Are you identifying any like top leaders, any new launches? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, things are popping off in all groups versus before. There, I'm getting text messages. No screenshots yet, but once the screenshots come, we're in top territory. Basically, I am back in degen mode personally. I know you were back in it like a week ago, but I pulled many triggers this last weekend, and I typically haven't pulled triggers during the weekend, during the bear, obviously. I did make some decent buys into the majors, like we talked about, ones that we knew would come back. But now I'm playing like the low cap, mid cap game, sub 100, sub 10 million even, and firing shots there. So definitely there's life in the markets. There's there's one that I'm going to share with you. You asked about this. Solana Labubu meme coin. She's to 49 million after viral toy sales. And you're like, what is this? Okay, let's take a look at the chart. So this
I
this
have no
meme.
idea what this is right now. I follow the meme coin market so close. I didn't even know this happened, and I don't know what a Labubu is. And you told me this morning. I go, Joe,
Dude,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
it's up 7,000%, basically a 70x because it's a sub $1 million market cap. It basically died and came back to life, this particular meme coin. So Labubu is just this guy right here. I would liken it to the Pokemon phase. I mean, not Pokemon, I'm sorry. Beanie bag phase is the wrong word, but it's having that beanie bag moment. So that Labubu right there that I just showed you, um, it's it's an accessory that people hang on their purses. However, these Labubus are so popular that their feet that people's wore them on the Met Gala. Rihanna wears them, Dua Lipa wears them. Basically, anyone who's anyone has a Labubu. And they're like Pokemons. There's a story around them, there's a lore around them. They have physical stores around the world. It started in Hong Kong. It's a basically one character amongst many, and there's many different colors. And it's basically like an NFT, but a physical that people love. So boo to you guys. So whoever doesn't like NFTs, you guys are exactly doing that. It's the what is that thing called? The randomized I forgot what it's called, but the randomization that we get the reveal of the NFTs. So that was actually taken from not the TradFi world, but the Web 2 world, where the random boxes got so popularized in the Asian world that people just keep on buying to try to get a rare. And they do that with these Labubus, or they actually made this popular, the random boxes, the loot boxes, as you will call them. And yeah, they just completely took off. If I knew there was a Labubu meme coin, I totally would have aped, and I would not be in this conference with you right now because I would have been rich.
This has been out since like the beginning of May, but was just trading at $0 essentially, and then just started to grind up, and now it just fired up. So is the article, did it say something about like it's had a toy sale that sold out and it caused the coin to just pop off? What's going on
Yeah,
here?
so the reason for the pop is because they ran out of these in the stores, and which just
Uh,
caused, like, people to go crazy, and I guess they turned to the meme coin because that's the one thing they could buy.
and Kaws, Kaws. That's those. I've seen those before. Like guys that trade sneakers,
Yeah,
they're like
right.
those big
Yeah,
figurines.
yeah.
That's the number one trending coin right now on Dex Screener.
I guess people are going towards Web
That's the
2
meta.
physical collectibles as a meme coin. Yeah. What's next? What's after cause?
That's exactly Beanie Babies. I don't know. That's very interesting. It's actually only a 749,000 market cap, but I'm not speculating on this, but it'll be some meta to keep an eye on. That's for sure. If we're talking more about physicals that turned into meme coins next week, we know it's absolutely real life.
Yeah, if they had a real collaboration with Labubu and Labubu actually launched a meme coin utility token, it would skyrocket to like $1 billion because they're a multi-billion-dollar company as of today.
Yeah, I'm reading about their story here right now. Interesting stuff. Well, let's jump over and talk a little bit about the AI crypto world. We talk about this pretty much on every rundown because it's going to be a big part of it. It's still kind of chopping right around where it was last week. I think right around 12 billion. In the market leaders, the ones we talk about all the time, the cookies, the virtuals, the fart coins. All these are the wrecked guys. All these are Ava. All of these have been in some form or fashion a call within our community, leading in mind share for good reason. They're building products or they're just very recognizable coins. Fartcoin, mine shares up. Let's see what the market cap's looking like. A little bit up in market cap as well. As we are coining it now, it seems like every week. When Fartcoin starts to pick up steam and is green, it probably means the entire market's going to take off. So it's great to see just Fartcoin green because, in my opinion, it's starting to become the leading indicator of what's happening in the market. But the AI crypto world is still alive, still chugging along. But as always, there's new metas, new opportunities out there that we're trying to bring to everybody. And I'm personally keeping a close eye on the AI crypto world. I do think it's an interesting time to probably dollar cost average in for that next leg up to some of the leaders here. I don't know if I'm personally going to be speculating on any new launches. I kind of think a lot of these are kind of finding their footing and we'll see how it goes. But virtuals is a great example that just continues to chug along and pick up market share.
I'm gonna go back to Fartcoin because we gotta pump, your bags. I don't have a huge bag, but Fartcoin is what, $1.6 billion. And I can see that, taking the one of the top three rankings because Pepe, Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, that's all crypto native, but Farcoin could be more than crypto native. It could, it's just so relevant to the average person. And Pepe is at 6 billion market cap. That's like 1 billion shy of their all-time high, which is, I mean, that's pretty crazy. And Farcoin's only at 1.5. So that's like, I know what you're saying, right? You don't want to get in crazy at these levels, but I can see Farcoin going to 7 billion easy.
Well, you're preaching to the choir here. I personally, and this isn't financial advice, we talk about this with our private community, but this is all my personal opinion. I do believe Pepe flips sheep. I think that happens, and I think Fartcoin flips it as well. I don't know how where it's going to end up market cap wise, but in my eyes, I really see Doge, Pepe, and Fartcoin could respectfully be the meme leaders coming out of this next run. I just like the story behind. I don't even know who's trading sheep, but people are. I maybe it's because I'm a hater because I'm not a holder, but it's an $8.6 billion market cap. Like who's still buying sheep? I don't understand.
A lot of Ethereum maxis for sure. I mean, that's the top two. Oh yeah, but we forgot to mention Dogecoin. They made a wormhole into Solana. So they're trying to retain their market lead. And Dogecoin's looking to go into a lot of different networks to try to open up what we call franchises over on those blockchains to get some liquidity. So that's a smart move on their front. So maybe Dogecoin won't be flipped for a while now that we can gamble on Doge on Solana. In fact, when I told that to my Solana friends, I'm like, what do you guys think about this? They were like, when is it activated so I could buy some Doge on Solana? That's the first thing they said.
I kind of agree. I favor trading on Solana quite a bit, and that's the reason I like Fartcoin a lot. So it's great to see that Doge got a wormhole. It's just gonna give some Solana maxis now exposure to the largest meme coin around. You know, Solana people like meme coins. I net very bullish on that announcement. Probably didn't get as much love as I expected.
Right. Yeah. Right now, all eyes are on Bitcoin as it's making. When Bitcoin makes the move, everyone's just kind of like pause, right? They're just like,
Hmm.
is it gonna go higher? Is it gonna chop? And then once it kind of settles, then they kind of make their next move.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we should just transition and talk a little bit about NFTs. They've actually been looking pretty good. Have you been dabbling with any NFTs recently?
I have. I've been buying, what is it? F1 NFTs off of Abstract. I mean,
What?
yeah. Yeah. So it's part
Where
of the
was the
reward.
text message?
I actually messaged you on our company communicator, and basically it's part of the reward system. But I like F1. I watch F1 highlights every single weekend. They were just in Monaco, which was, all the yachts, all the glitz, all the glamour. And you can still mint them. They're going on for another 3 weeks, Brian. So you could definitely mint NFTs from there.
Oh,
And so they did a pretty cool one. I think it's in collaboration with Red Bull specifically. So you get like Red Bull slash Gate.io merch if you collect all 24. But at the same time, you get to farm abstract points, which we teach our community how to do because they're going to have their TGE event. And the cool thing is, I actually made money. Like, so basically, you mint the NFTs and you could get a chance for a rare. Well, I got two rares. I sold them to cover my entire cost of the minting. You can mint free ones, you can mint non-free ones, but it's cheap. It's like, $5, $10, but some of them are selling for like 3, 4 times the price. And this is gonna go on for the next 3 weeks. So doing some cool consumer-centric stuff there for abstract NFTs. Personally, I haven't gotten to the Ethereum ones, but I'm not hesitant to. I know you talking about some good Ethereum NFTs that's kind of popping off.
yeah. I love the abstract play, by the way, Joe, and I'm gonna definitely take a look at this F1 because I love the idea of farming abstract. I'm kind of a full bull maxi on that as well right now. But taking a look at just all of the chains, CryptoPunk's kind of steady where they are, about 125K. But a very interesting project that popped up today, too, that I want to talk about is this Bad Buns. Would love to get your opinion on this. I know we only briefly talked about it today, but it's up 120%. Full disclosure, I did buy a couple of these yesterday just because I kind of like the thesis of it and kind of alpha for everyone that I saw is that there's going to be a chain. Mega ETH is a very popular chain that's getting buzz right now. And Bread, who's who's a very popular builder for Mega ETH chain, this is being coined as the unofficial first Mega ETH NFT. And they look kind of cool. They look cool. Only 3,000 supply. They've been increasing nicely. I'm in around this price. So I don't know if it's going to take off, but there's a bull theory out there that, being the first one on the chain could take a hypeo type run up to multiple of ETHs. Just curious what your thoughts are here. You think I'm crazy for buying these?
No, I think you made a lot of great Ethereum NFT buys. So I never go against your intuitions because you're tapped into that side. So Ethereum NFTs, I do own, I mean, I have Pudgies, right? I don't even mind buying another Pudgy. I like it overall where the attention is, specifically if there is utility within the ecosystem. So I've yet to dive into it, but off the bat, looking at the art, I like it. If there's a play for it in terms of staking, yielding, rewarding, and or other collaborations like farming, I would love that. But I think the art itself, a lot of my buddies who collect NFTs, they're like back into that mode. They're just buying stuff because they like it. So as long as you vibe with it, I feel like that's kind of where the NFT world is right now.
Yeah, I agree. Some art NFTs been popping off. I think the reason I like this is I mean, it's not cheap by any means. It's five, six, $700, but having a connection to Mega ETH, kind of an indirect way to get some exposure over there. And if this is truly considered the first one, the unofficial first one, maybe it gets some airdrops, maybe it gets some utility. Some good, just a good risk to reward gamble, in my opinion. And sales have been happening. There's been some activity on it. So kind of some early alpha. I might break this down a little bit deeper for our private community. We're gonna see how it goes over the next couple of days because, things can run out of hype pretty quickly. And there's some other interesting projects out here. We're talking about this Supremon 151. Joe, this is up. It was zero point 0.8 whenever we were looking at it like 20 minutes ago. Now it's up over an ETH again. This is a connection with Pokemon abstract art. Only 151 supply. You made a good call out there. This is extremely low supply. So that could cause some major swings in prices. You can see all the way from 1 ETH to 2 ETH is in the first line here. So any thoughts here about this project? Why it's running so much?
I think it's just not a lot of cool stuff coming out in terms of NFTs, and this one being the coolest, that's out of what's been launched, which is not a lot, right? A lot of just profile picture collections that come out. Artwork that's, nice like this has not come out for a while, at least in the mainstream. So I think that's why this is running. I mean, I would definitely buy one and put one on my wall. It looks nice. Like that Jigglypuff,
Hmm.
the abstract Jigglypuff right there. I like it. I'm reading my baby Jigglypuff, I mean, Pokemon books every day. So, yeah, I think that there's going to be a transition back into artwork. I mean, you made a great call on Alpha Centauri Kid. You told me when it was like $800 to buy that whole collection, and now it's like, I don't know, three to $4,000. So, artwork is definitely not going anywhere. I think your grifter. I mean, you should show everyone your grifter poster that you got. You haven't hung it up yet, but your grifter has been. Did I spoil it? Did I spoil it?
No, no, you didn't spoil it. That's a little wonky back there because I was having some issues with reflection with it over the weekend. So I was actually gonna have it ready for the rundown today, but didn't like how it looked. But you didn't spoil anything. I just laughed because I was like dealing with it a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I think with art, it's going to be really exciting for NFTs because there's never been a better time to create as an average person. That was obviously, I think, AI generated, right? I don't think someone hand drew those abstract Pokemons. If they did, I think it would be 5 ETH each, personally.
Hmm.
And I think with the creativity, like me and you have kids, right? So people who don't know, you can Google this. You can Google the dad that turned their kids' drawings into AI artwork. And those things are super creative. I can see, people selling those to fundraise for the kids' tuition or whatnot. I just think there's going to be a whole marketplace for creators, and there's never been a better time to be a creator. I'm not sure if you saw the stat, right? Gen Z, they consume more creators, YouTube, than they consume, general media these days. So just creation overall in the world of Web3, I'm not saying this is financial advice, but man, you could farm by streaming, you could farm by yapping. I mean, creating is like, and you can launch your own abstract Pokemon within 2 days. Like this is an insane time to be alive, and you can monetize it with a snap of a finger. So overall, NFTs where that fits in there, is like it's amazing to see people doing that on a daily basis. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be a consumer too because I think Red Bull did it perfectly. Here, let me show you the screen of what Red Bull is offering. But guess what? They're not done. They're back. They're back with Gate.io. And I wouldn't necessarily call it rug pull. They just ended all discords. They said, "Oh, project's complete." But there were a lot of loose ends because they did like a fractional meme that you can, redeem for an NFT. In any case, this is what I minted because it was absolutely free. You didn't miss out on it. They're doing what they did 1, 2, 3 in Monaco. But as you can see here, there's Silverstone, Singapore, Abu Dhabi. And by purchasing these NFTs, whether it be free to collect or, 0.002, which is $5, you can participate by potentially getting some free merchandise from Gate in collaboration with Red Bull. And you can farm the abstract ecosystem, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So definitely, you just got a few weeks to go. And might I add, I got the highest XP points that I've ever gotten with this farm strategy, I think, because I was minting every day. It was like 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, and then the extra phase. And I think I covered this, but it was free. Even the ones I bought, I sold one of the rare ones I got to cover all costs. So I might the next phase around, I might mint a lot. And the risk there is that you can get a silver or a gold. So it's 50-50. If you get a gold, it'll sell for 3x the price. So I might, I don't know. I'll go for 100 of them. It'll cover the cost and maybe make some money. These are some fun gamification things that, people can do still. There's like people are taking advantage of this. They're minting like crazy. So, kudos for Gate and Abstract for this collaboration.
Yeah, I love any way that we can get some XP and have some fun with NFTs again. Make NFTs great again is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, one last NFT thing. I like to bring this up because I got to pump my own bags. So I bought like Cameron Brink. If you don't know, Cameron Brink is like the Steph Curry is her god brother, quote unquote god brother. She had a major injury out for the entire season. She's slated to come back June 1st. So I grabbed a bunch of her NFTs. I just want to showcase. Basically, they're up 100%. So meme coins, great. NFTs, I feel it's weird to say this. It's a safer bet if you know what to buy.
Yeah, no, there's definitely market niches there, and you know some of these markets better than anybody that I know, so it's always impressive. And I'll tell you what, you're spot on with these NBA Top Shots, but especially WNBA calls. You crushed it with Caitlin Clark last year. You've done really well. So that's an interesting. I actually know who Cameron Brink is and familiar with the story. So for me to know who that is, can't say that that was a poor buy. That was just great insight by you. And if you like that sort of insight, this is the pitch for Crypto Mavericks. I mean, we're talking about everything, Joe. We talk about the macro news because that really runs hand in hand with all meme coins, NFTs. We're talking everything in Web3, where the momentum is, where there's opportunities to make money, where you can have fun. It is a very fast-paced world. We live and breathe it every single day. So if you want to join our community, I highly urge everyone, click the link down below. We have a private community talking about all of these great things every single day. We have a rundown show we're on right now. We have a podcast. We have market updates. We have a lot of content out there, Joe, and it's really fun. And it's a fun time to be in the market.
Yep. See you guys.